Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Lalo Schifrin, the brilliant composer whose music set hearts racing and imaginations soaring, was born on June 21, 1932 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. From his earliest days, music wasn't just a passion, it was his destiny. Growing up in the shadow of his father, the concertmaster of the Buenos Aires Philharmonic, young Lalo learned to love the elegance of classical music. But it was the rhythms of American jazz, banned at the time in Argentina, that truly ignited his spirit. He would smuggle records, listening in secret, dreaming of a world where music had no borders. That dream carried him far. Despite facing doubt from those who believed jazz and classical music should never meet, Schifrin believed otherwise. He left Argentina for the Paris Conservatory, studying with the famed Olivier Messiaen by day and performing in smoky jazz clubs by night. His boldness and talent caught the attention of jazz legend Dizzy Gillespie, who invited him to the United States, a moment that changed Schifrin's life and, in many ways, the sound of cinema itself. Schifrin became one of Hollywood's most sought-after composers, known for his fearless fusion of genres. His groundbreaking Mission, impossible theme, written in a daring 5/4 time signature, became one of the most iconic pieces of music ever created, still thrilling audiences after more than 5 decades. His work on Cool Hand Luke, Dirty Harry, Bullet, and Enter the Dragon pushed boundaries, blending jazz, classical, and modern sounds with breathtaking originality. Over his extraordinary career, Schifrin earned 6 Oscar nominations, 5 Grammys, and in 2018, a rare honorary Oscar presented by Clint Eastwood, his longtime friend and collaborator. But for Schifrin, success was never about the awards. It was about telling stories through music, creating moments that stirred the soul. On June 26, 2025, at the age of 93, Lalo Schifrin peacefully left us due to complications from pneumonia. Yet his melodies remain, bold, timeless, and alive, a lasting reminder that true music knows no boundaries, only possibilities. For more than half a century, Bill Moyers invited America to sit down, listen, and think a little deeper. Born in the small town of Hugo, Oklahoma on June 5, 1934, and raised in Marshall, Texas, Moyers' story is proof that quiet strength and steadfast ideals can shape history. From modest beginnings, he worked his way from a teenage reporter at a local paper to standing beside President Lyndon B. Johnson during one of the nation's most turbulent eras. As Johnson's trusted aide and press secretary, Moyers helped craft the Great Society programs that aim to lift people from poverty, expand opportunity, and spark hope across America. He believed government could serve the common good, but standing by those beliefs was never easy. Behind the scenes, Moyers faced his own crossroads. His principles often collided with the harsh realities of politics. Choosing integrity over convenience, he stepped away from the White House, a decision that cost him proximity to power but preserved something far greater: his unwavering moral compass. The next chapter of his life would become his true calling. On television screens across the country, Moyers used his gentle voice, piercing questions, and lifelong curiosity to bring people together in conversation. From Bill Moyers' journal to The Power of Myth, he explored topics few others dared: democracy, justice, inequality, faith, and the quiet courage found in everyday lives. Through decades of award-winning work, including 35 Emmys and 9 Peabody Awards, Moyers never lost sight of his mission: to speak to, for, and about ordinary people. Even as his health declined in his later years, his voice remained steady. Surrounded by his beloved wife Judith and family, he passed peacefully on June 26, 2025, at the age of 91, following complications from a long illness. Bill Moyers leaves behind more than accolades. He leaves a legacy of conscience, conversation, and an enduring belief that truth, spoken kindly but firmly, still matters. Breaking news. He lost both parents just days apart, faced one of the most public career setbacks in television history, and battled through intense personal struggles. But today, Conan OBrien is standing stronger than ever, ready to host the biggest stage in entertainment. How did he overcome heartbreak, pressure, and the weight of expectation to become one of America's most enduring entertainers? Stay with us as we dive into the remarkable journey, career, and resilience of Conan OBrien. Conan OBrien, born on April 18, 1963, in Brookline, Massachusetts, seemed destined for a different path. The son of a physician father and a lawyer mother, Conan grew up in a world of academic excellence. But behind the polished exterior was a young man with sharp wit, boundless curiosity, and a love for making people laugh. His time at Harvard University, where he wrote for the satirical Harvard Lampoon, laid the groundwork for a career that would soon capture the attention of millions. But Conan's journey to stardom was anything but smooth. Long before the fame, he quietly honed his craft behind the scenes, writing for Saturday Night Live and The Simpsons, becoming known for his intelligent humor and quirky perspective. Despite his success as a writer, stepping in front of the camera would prove to be a whole new challenge. In 1993, Conan took over Late Night on NBC, following in the footsteps of David Letterman. It was a baptism by fire. Critics were harsh, audiences unsure, and his lack of experience as a host led many to doubt him. But Conan's resilience, coupled with his quick-witted humor and willingness to embrace awkwardness, slowly won over fans. Over time, his unique style transformed Late Night into a beloved staple, making him one of television's most recognizable faces. But his greatest test came in 2009, when he inherited the most prestigious show in American late-night television, The Tonight Show. What was meant to be the pinnacle of his career quickly turned into a public spectacle. After only 7 months, a highly publicized network decision replaced him with his predecessor, Jay Leno. The experience left Conan facing not only career uncertainty, but personal turmoil as well. Have you ever faced a moment where everything you worked for seemed to fall apart? Conan's story is a testament to how setbacks can spark growth. In the aftermath, Conan could have disappeared from the spotlight. Instead, he transformed adversity into motivation. Supported by a loyal fan base known as Team Coco, Conan launched his own show on TBS in 2010, simply titled Conan. For over a decade, the show became a safe space for comedy, creativity, and experimentation. But Conan's evolution did not stop there. As the media landscape shifted, he boldly embraced new platforms. His podcast, Conan OBrien Needs a Friend, launched in 2018, quickly became one of the most popular shows worldwide, offering intimate, humorous, and heartfelt conversations with celebrities and friends. It was here that audiences saw the real Conan, funny, self-deprecating, but also reflective and grounded. Through it all, Conan prioritized his health, both physical and mental. Behind the humor, he has been open about struggling with anxiety and overwhelming self-doubt, particularly during the turbulent Tonight Show period. Over time, through therapy, self-awareness, and a dedication to family, Conan rebuilt his confidence and emotional well-being. His ability to laugh at himself while embracing vulnerability became a key part of his public identity. Isn't it remarkable how humor can help us heal? How do you use laughter to navigate life's challenges? Despite his public success, Conan's personal life has not been immune to heartache. In late 2024, he suffered a devastating blow, losing both of his parents within 3 days of each other. The loss struck deep, yet Conan, showing the same quiet strength that defines his career, continued to move forward. Speaking to audiences, he described taking life one day at a time, focusing on family, gratitude, and finding solace in connection. Even amid grief, Conan's spirit remains unshaken. His latest project, Conan OBrien Must Go, continues his global adventures, blending humor with cultural exploration. His curiosity, resilience, and ability to adapt keep him relevant in an ever-changing entertainment world. And now, in 2025, Conan prepares to take on one of his biggest challenges yet, hosting the Academy Awards. After years of ups and downs, losses and triumphs, his return to such a prestigious stage reflects not only his longevity, but his unwavering dedication to his craft. Conan O'Brien's story reminds us that behind every laugh is a person who has weathered storms, endured pressure, and embraced the unknown. His legacy goes beyond late-night television. It is a story of growth, perseverance, and the healing power of humor. Which moment from Conan's journey resonates with you the most? Is it his quick wit, his strength through loss, or his determination to never let setbacks define him? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us celebrate the life, resilience, and career of one of entertainment's most beloved figures. If his story has inspired you, like this video, and subscribe to our channel for more tributes to the icons who remind us that even in the toughest times, laughter, love, and strength always shine through. Gene Hackman, the legendary Oscar-winning actor, passed away at the age of 95, leaving behind a legacy of unforgettable performances that helped define generations of cinema. Alongside him, his beloved wife of over 3 decades, Betsy Arakawa, also passed in their quiet New Mexico home, marking a deeply sorrowful chapter in Hollywood history. Authorities confirmed that Hackman died from complications related to cardiovascular disease and advanced Alzheimer's. His wife, Betsy, succumbed to hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a rare but severe illness contracted through exposure to infected rodents. Investigators believe Betsy died several days before Hackman, raising the heartbreaking possibility that his declining health left him unaware of her passing. Gene Hackman's life was nothing short of extraordinary. Rising from humble beginnings, he became one of the most respected actors in the world, renowned for his grit, depth, and sheer versatility on screen. His career spanned over 40 years, earning him 2 Academy Awards, Best Actor for The French Connection, 1971, and Best Supporting Actor for Unforgiven, 1992, along with nominations for Bonnie and Clyde, I Never Sang for My Father, and Mississippi Burning. From his iconic portrayal of Lex Luthor in Superman to his roles in The Conversation, Enemy of the State, and The Royal Tenenbaums, Hackman captivated audiences with performances that were raw, honest, and unforgettable. Behind the fame, Hackman and Betsy Arakawa, a classical pianist, led a peaceful, private life far from Hollywood's spotlight, choosing the tranquility of Santa Fe's mountains over red carpets. Friends say their relationship was one of quiet devotion, their home filled with music, nature, and simple joys. Though his final years were shadowed by illness, Hackman's passion for storytelling endured. His artistry, both on screen and through his later work as a novelist, remains a testament to his boundless creativity and resilience. Gene Hackman gave us characters that challenged, inspired, and lingered in our hearts. And now, though he and Betsy have departed, the world will forever remember the brilliance they shared with one another and with all of us. Gayard Sartine, the beloved character actor, comedian, and artist, passed away on June 19, 2025, in his hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was 81 years old. His wife, Mary Jo Sartine, tenderly remarked that he died of silliness, a reflection of the humor and warmth that defined his life and career. Official reports state he passed of natural causes following a long illness. Sartine's legacy is woven into the fabric of American entertainment, remembered for bringing both laughter and heart to audiences across decades. Born in Tulsa in 1943, Sartine's early days saw him working behind the camera at a local TV station. But it wasn't long before his unmistakable charisma landed him in front of the camera as the eccentric Dr. Mazeppa Pompazoidi, a character that launched his comedic career. He rose to national fame as a regular on the country music variety show Hee Haw, where for nearly 20 seasons, his humor and charm became a staple of Saturday night television. Sartine later credited Hee Haw with opening doors to an illustrious acting career that spanned film and television. Fans of classic cinema remember him as the Big Bopper in the Buddy Holly Story, 1978, and for standout roles in films like Mississippi Burning, The Outsiders, Fried Green Tomatoes, The Grifters, and The Big Easy. Sartine was also a familiar face in the whimsical Ernest film series alongside Jim Varney, and made numerous appearances in beloved comedies like Getting Even with Dad and Elizabethtown. Off-screen, Sartine's artistic talents extended to painting and illustration, with a lifelong love for creativity that complemented his work in entertainment. Despite his success, friends and colleagues describe him as a man of humility and humor, a fan of the people he worked with, always seeing himself as fortunate to be part of the industry he adored. Gayard Sartine retired from screen work after 2005, but remained a cherished figure among fans and fellow performers alike. He is survived by his wife Mary Jo, their children Sarah, Esther, and Ben, granddaughter Chloe, and great-grandson Teddy. His passing marks the end of an era for character-driven comedy, but the joy he brought to millions ensures his spirit will live on, through laughter, storytelling, and the quiet charm of a true Southern gentleman. Dave Scott, the visionary choreographer whose moves inspired a generation of dancers, has passed away at the age of 52. His family shared the heartbreaking news through his official Instagram page, honoring the legacy of a man who reshaped modern dance with his artistry, kindness, and boundless energy. Born with an innate rhythm and passion for movement, Dave Scott first captured Hollywood's attention with his work on films like Good Burger and the groundbreaking You Got Served, which helped launch a new wave of street dance culture into the mainstream. His choreography wasn't just about steps. It told stories, expressed emotion, and united communities. His influence soared with high-profile projects like Stomp the Yard, Prom Night, and Coach Carter, where his choreography added energy and soul to the big screen. But it was through the hit TV series So You Think You Can Dance, 2008-2015, that Scott became a household name, inspiring millions worldwide with routines that blended raw street styles with refined technique. Dave Scott also left his mark on the Step Up franchise, working on Step Up 2, The Streets, and Step Up 3D, bringing electric, unforgettable dance sequences that became cultural moments. Fellow artists and dancers, including SAWITYCD alum Comfort Fidoki, mourned his passing, sharing how Scott's work inspired their own journeys long before they met him in person. "His work moved me before I ever met him," she wrote, echoing the feelings of countless dancers worldwide. Throughout his career, Scott was known not just for his creativity, but for his warmth and encouragement. He believed dance had the power to uplift, unite, and heal, a belief he carried in every routine, every mentorship, every moment. Though his time with us has ended, Dave Scott's influence on dance and the hearts he touched will endure, pulsing to the rhythm of his unforgettable legacy. His moves will live on stages, on screens, and in the souls of dancers everywhere. Stanley R Jaffy, one of Hollywood's most influential film producers and studio executives, was born in the Bronx, New York, in 1940. From a young age, Jaffy was immersed in the world of film, growing up as the son of Leo Jaffy, a respected executive at Columbia Pictures. Yet, it was Stanley's own determination, talent, and vision that built his legacy as a pioneer in American cinema. Jaffy's journey was marked by ambition and courage. At just 29 years old, he became president of Paramount Pictures, the youngest person to ever hold that title at a major studio. Though young and facing enormous pressure, he steered the studio toward iconic successes like Love Story and The Godfather, films that forever changed the landscape of American filmmaking. As a producer, Jaffy had a unique gift for telling stories that touched the heart. His crowning achievement came in 1980 with Kramer vs. Kramer, a film about family, love, and resilience, which won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. He also produced Fatal Attraction, Goodbye, Columbus, and The Bad News Bears, all of which showcased his deep understanding of the human experience. But like many great careers, Jaffy's path wasn't without challenges. He faced corporate shakeups and professional setbacks, including his departure from Paramount during a major ownership change. Yet through it all, his passion for storytelling and his commitment to excellence never wavered. Later in life, Jaffy faced health struggles, and on March 10, 2025, he passed away peacefully at his home in Rancho Mirage, California, at the age of 84. His family shared that his passing was due to natural causes. Stanley R Jaffy's impact on the film industry is undeniable. His work brought people together, sparked conversations, and reminded audiences of the power of love, family, and perseverance. He leaves behind a legacy of storytelling, leadership, and inspiration that continues to shape the world of cinema. Priscilla Pointer, a beloved actress whose grace lit up both stage and screen, passed away peacefully in her sleep on April 28, 2025, at the remarkable age of 100. Her long and fulfilling life was a testament to resilience, creativity, and love for family and the arts. Born in New York City in 1924 to artist parents, Priscilla's path to the spotlight began on the theater stage, where she honed her craft with classic productions like A Streetcar Named Desire and The Country Wife. Her passion for performance, paired with quiet determination, led to a career spanning over 6 decades in television, film, and theater. Many will remember Priscilla for her unforgettable portrayal of Rebecca Barnes Wentworth on the hit series Dallas in the 1980s, where she captivated audiences with her strength and complexity. Others will recall her role in Carrie, 1976, the horror classic that became even more special as she starred alongside her real-life daughter, Amy Irving. The mother-daughter duo would grace the screen together in several other films, creating cherished memories for audiences and their family alike. Throughout her career, Priscilla balanced her love for performing with an unwavering devotion to family. She and her husband, the late Jules Irving, shared both a deep personal bond and a professional one, co-founding the San Francisco Actors Workshop and raising 3 children, all of whom inherited their parents' creative spirit. Despite facing the hardships of losing her husband in 1979 and navigating the challenges of show business as a woman of her generation, Priscilla's legacy shines through her remarkable body of work, her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Her passing, due to natural causes, marks the close of a remarkable chapter in the world of entertainment. Yet her legacy lives on, not just through her performances, but through the kindness, humor, and enduring love she shared with those around her. Jan Shepard, a cherished face from Hollywood's golden era, passed away on January 17, 2025, at the age of 96, leaving behind a legacy of heartfelt performances and unforgettable stories. Known for her warmth, charm, and spirited on-screen presence, Jan was beloved by fans across generations, particularly for her roles alongside Elvis Presley and in dozens of classic television westerns. Born Josephine Angela Sorbello in 1928 in Quakertown, Pennsylvania, Jan's early life was filled with ambition and talent. A high school valedictorian, cheerleader, and actress, She set her sights on Hollywood after graduation, determined to turn her passion for performance into a lifelong journey. With grit and determination, she arrived in Los Angeles in 1949, balancing theater training at the Pasadena Playhouse with secretarial work to make ends meet. Her big break came with a role in the 1958 film King Creole, where she starred as Mimi, the sister of Elvis Presley's character. Though not initially a fan of the young music icon, Jan quickly grew to admire him, forming a close friendship that lasted beyond the cameras. She often fondly recalled their shared laughter, birthday surprises, and Presley's gentle, down-to-earth nature. Their bond was rekindled in 1966 when they worked together again in Paradise, Hawaiian style. But Jan's talents reached far beyond the silver screen. She became a familiar face in homes across America, appearing in more than 30 TV westerns, including beloved classics like Gunsmoke, The Virginian, Rawhide, and Tales of the Texas Rangers. Her versatility also shone in cult favorites like Attack of the Giant Leeches and acclaimed dramas such as Third of a Man, exploring mental health with sensitivity long before the topic was widely discussed. Throughout her life, Jan faced the ups and downs of a demanding industry with grace, always grounded by the love of her family. She shared nearly 7 decades of marriage with actor Ray Boyle, raising their son Brandon, who continued the family's connection to Hollywood as a prop master. Jan Shepard's life was filled with laughter, love, and stories that will continue to inspire. Her enduring legacy reminds us of a time when Hollywood's magic was built not just on fame, but on heart. Serge Fiori, the legendary Quebec singer-songwriter and founder of the iconic band Harmonium, passed away on June 25, 2024, at the age of 73. His departure, after battling a long illness, leaves behind a profound legacy that has shaped the cultural and musical identity of Quebec for generations. Born in Montreal in 1952, Serge Fiori's music career blossomed in the early 1970s, fueled by a passion for poetic storytelling and rich melodic soundscapes. In 1974, Fiori, alongside Michel Normando, founded Harmonium, a group that would quickly become one of the most influential acts in French-Canadian music history. Their debut album, Harmonium, featured the beloved song Pour un instant, a track that still resonates deeply with Quebecers today for its beauty, emotion, and lyrical depth. Fiori's songwriting stood apart for its poetic sensitivity, philosophical undertones, and melodic warmth. His music captured the spirit of Quebec at a time of social and cultural awakening, giving voice to a generation and inspiring countless artists who followed. Despite Harmonium's short-lived run from 1972 to 1979, their influence endures, and Fiori's work remains a cornerstone of Quebec's musical heritage. His compositions, often blending progressive rock with folk influences, reflected a deep introspection and a desire to connect with the human spirit, a gift that continues to touch hearts even decades later. Beyond his success, Fiori faced the challenge of long-standing health issues in recent years. His passing, confirmed by his manager Serge Grimaud, occurred during Quebec's Saint-Jean-Baptiste holiday, a fitting tribute to a man so deeply intertwined with the province's identity. Tributes poured in from across Canada. Quebec Premier François Legault praised Fiori's work for its poetry, depth, and sensitivity, while Parti Québécois leader Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon hailed him as a true ambassador of Quebec culture. Serge Fiori's voice, lyrics, and melodies will echo for generations to come, a reminder of the power of music to unite, heal, and inspire. Nigel McCray, the beloved British screenwriter, author, and former police officer, passed away in February 2025 at the age of 71, following a courageous battle with a terminal illness. His passing marks the end of a remarkable life spent bringing gripping stories, and unforgettable characters to audiences across the UK and beyond. Born with an innate sense of justice and curiosity, Nigel's early career began in the ranks of the Nottinghamshire Constabulary, where he served with the murder squad. His time on the front lines of real-life investigations sparked a lifelong fascination with forensic science and human stories behind every crime, a passion that would later redefine British television. In 1996, McCray created Silent Witness, a groundbreaking BBC drama that followed forensic pathologists solving complex cases with both intellect and empathy. Now, in its 28th season, Silent Witness remains one of the longest-running and most acclaimed dramas in British television history, a true testament to Nigel's creativity and vision. He also co-created New Tricks, the beloved series that saw a group of retired detectives cracking cold cases with wit and wisdom. Both shows became cultural touchstones, praised for their sharp writing and heartfelt portrayal of those who dedicate their lives to uncovering the truth. Beyond television, McCray was a prolific author, penning novels and historical works that honored the bravery and sacrifice of soldiers, athletes, and everyday heroes from the world wars. His book, The Vanished Battalion, was even adapted into the moving drama All the King's Men, starring Sir David Jason and Dame Maggie Smith. In October 2024, Nigel publicly shared his terminal diagnosis with courage and grace, reflecting on life, loss, and legacy with characteristic humility. Tributes poured in from colleagues, friends, and fans, all recognizing the enormous impact of his work and the kindness of the man behind the stories. Nigel McCray's legacy lives on, in the millions inspired by his words, in every crime solved on screen, and in the enduring power of storytelling. His life was one of service, creativity, and compassion, a gift to audiences everywhere. Peter Basano, the distinguished British trombonist, conductor, and educator, passed away in February 2025 at the age of 79, leaving behind a legacy that transcends generations of music lovers. Born with a love for sound, Basano's earliest inspirations came from the stirring sight of Salvation Army bands marching through the streets of Southend, Essex, and the pageantry of Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953. From those childhood moments, he embarked on a remarkable musical journey that would see him perform on stages and recordings heard by millions. Basano's career reached a unique milestone in 1968 when he joined the orchestra for one of the most iconic songs in pop history, Hey Jude, by the Beatles. Speaking of the experience with humor and humility, he once recalled turning up with his trombone, only to be asked by producer George Martin to play just 4 consecutive notes, a simple task that unexpectedly became the most lucrative performance of his life. Alongside his fellow musicians, Basano even lent his voice to the song's famous Na 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 chorus, a moment that grew into a global anthem still echoing today. His talents, however, extended far beyond that legendary recording. Basano spent 27 years with the London Symphony Orchestra, served as head of brass at the Royal College of Music, and led ensembles such as the Oxford University Sinfonietta. His performances graced venues from West End stages to the Royal Albert Hall proms, while his work as an adjudicator for BBC's Young Musician of the Year helped nurture new generations of talent. Basano's life was not without hardship. Financial struggles, including a difficult legal battle over his home, cast shadows over his later years. Yet his contributions to music remained steadfast, from his performances to his writings, including his memoir, Before the Music Stopped, chronicling his rich experiences with both classical and popular music legends. Though his estate was modest, Peter Basano's true wealth lies in the joy, inspiration, and timeless music he leaves behind, a life lived in harmony with his greatest passion. Elgar Howorth, the distinguished British conductor, trumpeter and composer, passed away in January 2025 at the age of 89, leaving behind an extraordinary legacy that helped shape the course of contemporary music in Britain and beyond. Born in Staffordshire in 1935, Howorth's musical journey began in the most heartfelt of settings, playing trumpet in the Barton Hall Works Band under the direction of his father. From these humble beginnings, his remarkable talent and passion for music carried him to the University of Manchester and the Royal Manchester College of Music, where his path crossed with future giants of the British avant-garde, including Harrison Birtwistle, Alexander Gayard, and Peter Maxwell Davies. Howorth became a key figure in the New Music Manchester Group, a pioneering ensemble founded in 1953 that championed experimental and contemporary works. Together with pianist John Ogden and cellist John Dow, Howorth contributed to a movement that pushed the boundaries of British classical music, establishing himself as an essential voice for new music. His conducting career blossomed in the 1970s, with Howorth leading the world premieres of groundbreaking operas such as György Ligetti's Le Grand Macabre, which he conducted in Stockholm, Hamburg, Paris, and London. His close collaboration with Harrison Birtwistle produced defining moments in British opera, including the premieres of Gawain at Covent Garden and The Second Mrs. Kong and The Last Supper at Glyndebourne. Known for his precision and commitment to contemporary composers, Howorth not only championed complex modern works, but also enriched the brass band tradition through his compositions. His enduring association with the Grimethorpe Colliery Band reflected both his technical brilliance and his deep respect for British musical heritage. Elgar Howorth's passing marks the end of a remarkable era, but his influence resonates through the many musicians, composers, and audiences whose lives he touched. His contributions to modern music, both on stage and behind the scenes, will remain an inspiration for generations to come. Carl Cochran, the talented guitarist and vocalist who left an indelible mark on the rock world, passed away on February 19, 2025, at the age of 61, following a tragic accident in Bridgewater, New Jersey. For decades, Carl was known not just for his extraordinary skill with a guitar, but for the passion and heart he brought to every note he played. His journey into rock history began in earnest in the early 90s when he met singer Joe Lynn Turner, formerly of Rainbow and Deep Purple. Their musical chemistry sparked collaborations on Turner's solo projects, showcasing Carl's rare blend of technical precision and soulful artistry. In 1994, Carl's career reached new heights when he joined Ace Frehley's band, touring extensively with the legendary Kiss guitarist. His connection with Kiss only deepened when he co-wrote Into the Void for the band's 1998 album Psycho Circus, cementing his place in the group's storied legacy. Carl's performances with the Eric Singer Project, alongside rock greats like Bruce Kulick and John Corabi, further demonstrated his range and dedication to the craft. Despite his success, Carl faced profound personal challenges. In 2014, he suffered a severe stroke that left him with limited mobility and speech. Yet, true to his fighting spirit, Carl worked tirelessly to recover, returning to music production, engineering, and teaching, inspiring countless fans with his resilience and love for music. Tragically, Carl's life was cut short in an accident involving his 90-year-old mother, Arna, who was driving when their vehicle struck a tree. The incident occurred on their private property, and Carl, despite being airlifted to the hospital, could not survive his injuries. Kiss, Joe Lynn Turner, and countless others paid heartfelt tributes, remembering Carl as not only an extraordinary musician, but a kind, passionate soul who left an impact on all who knew him. Though his journey was marked by both triumph and hardship, Carl Cochran's music and unwavering spirit will continue to resonate with fans around the world. Breaking news. Barry Gibb has lived a life defined by extraordinary music, unshakable resilience, and heart-wrenching loss. His voice has echoed through generations, his songs have filled stadiums, and his lyrics have soundtracked some of the world's most unforgettable moments. But behind the glittering stage lights and timeless melodies lies a man whose journey has been as remarkable as his success, and far more complex than the world often sees. Today, we explore the life of the last living Gibb brother, a man whose story of health battles, unimaginable grief, and enduring love for music continues to inspire millions. How does someone rise from childhood trauma, carry the weight of global fame, and still stand tall after losing nearly everything? This is the extraordinary journey of Barry Gibb. Born on September 1st, 1946, on the Isle of Man, Barry's introduction to life was far from glamorous. Long before his name was etched into music history, a devastating accident at just 2 years old nearly silenced him forever. Barry suffered severe burns in a household incident that left him unable to speak for nearly 2 years. Doctors feared for his future, but his family's unwavering support and his own quiet determination would set the foundation for everything that followed. It is often said that life's greatest artists are shaped by early suffering. For Barry, those formative years of silence became the birthplace of his connection to music, the universal language he would later master. Relocating to Manchester, England, and then to Australia, the Gibb family remained close-knit, their lives filled with music and dreams of a brighter future. It was there that Barry, alongside his younger brothers Robin and Maurice, formed the Bee Gees, a group that would go on to define an entire era of sound. By the late 1960s, the Bee Gees had captured hearts worldwide with ballads like To Love Somebody, Massachusetts, and Words. Their ability to weave emotion into melody was unparalleled, with Barry's falsetto and songwriting at the core of their unique identity. But it was the 1970s that catapulted Barry and his brothers into the stratosphere of fame. With the disco movement sweeping the globe, the Bee Gees became synonymous with a generation's rhythm and spirit. Their contributions to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, including anthems like Stayin' Alive, How Deep Is Your Love, and Night Fever, sold over 50 million copies and defined a cultural moment. Fame, however, is rarely a one-dimensional story. The same success that crowned the Bee Gees' global superstars also exposed them to unprecedented scrutiny. By the early 1980s, the backlash against disco had reached fever pitch, with disco sucks rallies in the United States targeting their music. The Bee Gees, once chart-topping icons, became scapegoats for an entire genre's collapse. For many, such rejection might have spelled the end. But Barry's resilience, the same quiet strength born from childhood adversity, refused to let failure define him. Instead, he turned to songwriting and producing for others, crafting global hits for icons like Barbra Streisand, Kenny Rogers, and Dolly Parton. His ability to reinvent himself while remaining true to his love for music became a hallmark of his career. But even as his professional life thrived, personal tragedy loomed. The Gibb family's unity, so central to their identity, was shattered with the loss of their youngest brother, Andy, in 1988. Andy's passing left a wound that never truly healed, but Barry, Robin, and Maurice pressed on, honoring Andy's memory with every note they played. The 1990s brought both recognition and renewed heartbreak. In 1997, the Bee Gees were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a crowning achievement that celebrated their immense contribution to music history. Yet just a few years later, Barry faced the devastating loss of Maurice in 2003, followed by Robin in 2012. The trio that once stood as a beacon of sibling harmony was reduced to one. Imagine carrying not only your own grief, but the responsibility of safeguarding your family's legacy, their music, their memories, and their mark on the world. This became Barry's new reality. Despite the loss, Barry's dedication never faltered. He continued to perform, to write, and to share his story with audiences across the globe. His voice, seasoned with the weight of experience, carried both the joy of music and the ache of absence. Yet life had more tests in store. In 2017, Barry underwent heart surgery, a reminder that even legends are not immune to the fragility of health. The procedure marked a turning point, forcing him to slow down, reassess his priorities, and focus more intently on his well-being. For many, this would have been the moment to retire quietly, to step away from the spotlight and into the comfort of family. But Barry's spirit, forged in the fires of early trauma and strengthened by decades of perseverance, refused to dim. In 2021, he released the album Greenfields, a heartfelt reimagining of Bee Gees classics through the lens of country music. Collaborating with artists like Dolly Parton and Keith Urban, Barry breathed new life into timeless hits, introducing his family's legacy to a new generation. The project was not only a musical triumph, but a deeply personal tribute to his brothers, their bond, and their enduring place in the fabric of popular culture. And the world has not forgotten. In 2023, Barry was honored at the Kennedy Center for his lifetime of artistic contributions, a testament to his resilience, his innovation, and the emotional depth of his work. Today, as Barry approaches 78 years old, his life reflects a delicate balance between legacy, health, and quiet reflection. Though he no longer tours relentlessly, he remains an active force in preserving the Bee Gees' story. A biographical film about the group, developed in partnership with acclaimed director Ridley Scott, promises to bring their remarkable journey to life for audiences worldwide. But beyond awards and accolades, what defines Barry Gibb is his humanity. The vulnerable, determined, compassionate man behind the legend. He is a father, a grandfather, and above all, a symbol of how love, music, and resilience can carry us through even the darkest chapters. Behind every note Barry sings lies the echo of his brothers, his family, and his unrelenting belief in the power of harmony, not just in music, but in life itself. His story teaches us that strength is not the absence of pain, but the choice to keep moving forward despite it. That even when loss, illness, and adversity threaten to silence us, the human spirit can still rise, still create, and still inspire. What part of Barry Gibb's incredible journey speaks to you most deeply? Is it his music, his endurance, or his unwavering dedication to those he loves? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us honor a man who turned personal tragedy into global triumph, and whose voice continues to remind us that love, harmony, and hope never fade. If Barry's remarkable story of survival and song has touched your heart, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tributes to the artists and icons whose legacies illuminate the world, one melody, one memory, and one act of courage at a time.